champ still easy.
Oh.
Hey, you know,
He tries.
France is a great country. They also do some pretty extreme sports here. And one company in Atlanta, though, is using extreme sports to help other companies re-energize their employees. Marshall Mosher is the co-founder and CEO of Vestigo. He joins us now live in the studio. Good morning.
Yes.
Well. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks so much, Marshall, for joining us. And I think it's so awesome where you're able to kind of bring people out of the office and into a different element that maybe some people aren't accustomed to. So what's the strategy behind that?
Well, that's actually the key, is getting employees at a lot of companies that want to promote innovation, getting those employees out of their comfort zone, doing something new, learning how to navigate change in a unique way, and those skills translate exactly into being more innovative and creative in the office.
Now, you got a parachute on your shoulder, so you're talking about a group bonding thing, see who can survive putting the parachute on in the air? Or
This is just because Atlanta traffic is really bad, so I just decided to fly in.
Just jump on the building and just do some like.
What are some of the adventures that you have?
Yeah, all kinds of things, from hiking up to the summit of a mountain with a really pretty, beautiful overlook, to things like intro whitewater kayaking, to things like caving and rappelling. Some aviation-based stuff, very intro level with tandem paragliding and things like that. But all kinds of really unique ways to get people outside of their comfort zone doing something new in a really interactive experience.
Now, it's pretty insane. So we have this equipment, and even this equipment behind us, the paraglider. Now, this is the paraglider, right?
So this is actually a paraglider. This is a kiteboard kite.
Okay.
Both are very much require a good understanding of the wind conditions, not just distance, but also direction, speed, really understanding that weather to utilize what you need to do for the sport.
So are there any times where you have to cancel a trip for a group or because the weather is just not living up to expectations?
Sometimes. So the things that we'll do with companies are usually the very entry level things for those sports. But the more advanced you get into a sport, the more you definitely want to utilize those conditions to make sure that everything is very much good to go. For most of what we do, you can do it in a wide variety of things, but when you're really pushing the limits in a sport, you have a very narrow window of whether it's wind speed or other factors that you want to work within.
So, Marshall, you need the weather to make sure it's safe for everyone, also to do some of these sports as well. So what information do you look for, and where do you get your information to make sure that your clients are going to be safe doing whatever extreme adventure they're on?
Yeah, well, it's amazing how accurate technology's gotten these days. So we actually utilize the Weather Channel in a lot of what we do to predict what the conditions are going to be before we actually go out, and especially before we take clients out and put them in those environments. We need to make sure that it's going to be conducive to having a group out in that environment. But of course, a big part of the effect of what we do is helping employees to be able to navigate and adapt to a changing environment. So if it does start lightly raining on us during a hike, of course, there's no safety implication for that. It might change the experience, but that's part of adapting to that unknown environment and getting people outside of their comfort zone. So a lot of times something could happen that might be a little bit unplanned, but that's part of the experience.
So we have about 30 seconds left. Now, in your personal side, you know, like I know you do a lot more extreme kind of situations, including using an electric unicycle.
Right. Exactly. I love anything that combines adventure and technology together. And with paragliding, you start on the top of a mountain. Your goal is to fly as far as possible using the rising air conditions called a thermal to gain altitude and get distance. But of course, you end up landing somewhere at the bottom of the mountain. You have to get back up to the top. There's not too many ways to do that unless you have someone that's going to come get you. So there's actually this thing called an electric unicycle that is small enough to fit in my backpack. It's kind of like a Segway without all the unnecessary pieces. And I can ride, I can fly down with that, get on that, and then ride that back out to the top.
Very cool.
Kind of unique.
Marshall Mosher, great information. You're CEO of Vestigo company. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I'll show you how to put it on.
Go ahead. I'm going to take
Yeah, let's do it.